Yo, what's going on guys? Jared here. Today I wanted to talk about the Odion cards again. It's been a little bit and I've had some time to actually kind of look into them more and find more starters. That was really the biggest thing that I wanted to do, was find more starters for this deck. And I will say we did find another route. Do I think it's the best? I don't really think so. It could definitely probably use some more optimizing, but at least it's an option that I don't see a lot of people talking about, and I think it's worth looking into just a little bit. So that's going to fall into the Kashtira package, but I want to get into that a little bit later. First, I wanted to say I am opening up a Discord that I want to be able to host tournaments in. Now, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, but I haven't really had time to be able to do it, but I want to do it now, mainly because my locals is closed right now. So having a opportunity for at least my local players, and if anybody else who's subscribed wants to join, being able to play and compete in tournaments weekly. So I'm going to leave a link to the Discord down below. I'll probably add it to my link tree eventually, for you guys to join. And if you want to play in any local tournaments, I would like to start hosting them there eventually. I was thinking maybe Tuesday nights, but I am not positive yet, but I'll get around to that in the future. It'll be announced in the Discord. So please join that if you want to see that or be a part of it also. But yeah, other than that, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Okay, guys, so here is the list. So as you know, I already explained what all the Odion cards do. If you look at my previous video, if you want to see what they do. So as you can see, the main 10 starters I have up top with the Anubis, the Last Judge, Man with the Mask, the Treasures of the Kings, and the Terraforming. 10 cards is just not enough for a modern Yu-Gi-Oh deck. It's really, really sad and frustrating that we only got 10 in the modern days when the power level is so high. So we need ways to change that. And one of the ways that we did it, and it's actually a true one-card combo, you actually don't need any other cards, is through the Kashtiras, being Pressured Planet Wraithstoth and Kashtira Fenrir. Both of these cards are actually true one-card starters along with Terraforming. This ends you on a pretty powerful board, which I believe is somewhere upwards of, depending on how you count these interruptions, like 6 interruptions-ish, I believe. So I think it's pretty cool. And I have included other things in the deck, like the rest of the Kashtira package with Unicorn and Birth. Rise Heart is mandatory for it, but you also need some other cards, Zephyros and what's it called? Destrudo and Dragon Ravine all need to be a part of this build as well. I do have enough room in here for non-engine in here, so we have 3 copies of Ash, Ogre, Veiler, Imperm, and Fua. Obviously, all these things can change. This is not set in stone. I encourage people to test, but like you can cut Birth and Unicorn if you want to kind of like get those numbers of bad draws down. You can also see I cut down on the Apophis of the Serpent. And the reason I did that was because you really don't need more than one of this card. After playing with it more and more, you realize after turn 1, you're going to be able to get your Anubis the Last Judge in the graveyard. And then once you use this to shuffle back the Serpent after turn 1, you're able to just reset it again off the Temple of the Kings, and then you are back in the same position again. So you're going to keep shuffling back the Serpent and the Swamp Deity. So you really don't need more than one of this card. And if you draw it, it's not the end of the world anyway. It's still like really good, but it's just something to keep in mind. There is other builds with Temple of the Kings that you can play more copies of. I'm not doing it right now. There is another build I want to try later on, but I am not going to be doing that yet. I want to focus on other stuff right now. Maybe I'll do it in the next couple weeks, but we'll see. Sarakit is still a brick, but this is actually going to be your main card that you're going to use for this combo, which is going to be the true one-card Fenrir combo. You don't go through Man of the Mark or Anubis in this line, just the Sarakit itself, which I think is kind of interesting. And of course, we're going to be going through Ancient Fairy Dragon. That is the main way we're going to be doing this. You need to be able to get to a field spell and then field spell into the treasures, and then be able to treasures for everything else as your normal line goes. There is other things that I wanted to mention, like set rotation. You would think because you're playing 3 different field spells, you would want to play set rotation. You don't, because if you give them the card, set rotation actually has like a little bit of a restriction where you can't play new field spells if that field spell is still there. So if it's set, you can't really do any more field spells, which is a problem. You need to be able to activate more field spells, so you don't want to lock yourself out with your own set rotation. That is a serious problem. So I chose not to do that. The extra deck, again, I think this is like fine for now, but it probably will end up being changed in the future if you mess around with it and test with it. But right now I have the 3 Divine, Link Spider, SP, 2 Rabbit. Arsenal Falcon is a major impact for this. 1 Shangri-La, 1 copy of Romulus, Ancient Fairy, IP, Selene, Access Code, and the Lina. This is fine. It's nothing like too crazy. You could also play the Earth Charmer, but I don't see a reason to do that in this format because Earth is like the worst attribute currently, at least I would say. So I don't think it's really worth it. But I think the main thing to take away from this is that if you wanted to cut a couple of bricks, you can cut a couple of bricks. You also don't even have to play the Statue of Anguish pattern. I just like it in here. And you can get this down to 40 if you want to, and you are able to up the starters technically up to 1, 3, 6 to up to 16 starters, which I think is pretty good. That's a respectable number. That's definitely more reasonable than the 10 we were working with before, because that's even less than Pure Raizio, and Pure Raizio was bricking too. So this is before Tachyon comes out. So yeah, without further ado, I want to show you guys the 1-card combo very quickly. And yeah, just something maybe we think down below, because I think it's kind of cool. Okay guys, so for the 1-card combo, it is going to be Fenrir plus any discard. That is all you need, so you're not locked into the spell or trap restriction of the Odion cards that you need something else to set. For this combo, you're actually able to just do it with just Fenrir and anything, so it can be a monster, it could be anything, it doesn't matter, just any card in your hand. So the way you're going to do this is special Fenrir, use the effect to be able to search Rise Heart, and then you are able to normal summon the Rise Heart. Do not special it, because then you'll be locked. Use the effect to banish out, I'll say, another copy of Fenrir, just to keep it simple, just in case you ban it, you guys take out the Unicorn and the Birth, because you don't really need them. Now they're both level 7, and then you can overlay these two into Arsenal Falcon. From here, you're able to use Arsenal Falcon, detach the Fenrir, to be able to sum out our Zephyros from the deck. From here, you're able to use these two to go into Dragoon Knight Romulus. Romulus effect is going to add Dragon Ravine. Then you're able to activate the Dragon Ravine and pitch the extra card in your hand to be able to dump Destrudo from your deck. So now we are able to use the Zephyros in our graveyard to bounce back the Ravine and special himself back out and take 400. Then we're able to use Destrudo to special summon himself back out, targeting the Zephyros, and then you have to pay down to 3,800. Next, you're able to synchro these two to go into the Ancient Fairy Dragon, activate Ravine, Ancient Fairy effect, pop the Ravine to be able to get your Temple. And then you're able to activate your Temple and to set any Apophis trap, so of course you're going to set the Serpent. Now, you're probably wondering how we're going to get the next card, but we have to link off these two to go into our Rabbit now. The nice thing about Rabbits existing is that it's able to, if you have extra monsters, you're able to get into the second spell or trap that you need to trigger the Treasures of the Kings. So now you can use the Treasures of the Kings to be able to add your Beast of Serikit, and then use the Scorpion of Serikit to special itself out, and then banish out the Anubis. And then you're able to use the effect to be able to grab the normal Temple of the Kings, and then we can use Temple of the Kings, use the one flip up that we have for Serpent, and set the Swamp Deity, and then we are able to use the Swamp Deity because you can activate it this turn with Serpent, and fusion summon these guys off for Divine Serpent of the Apophis. And then if you are playing the embodiment of Apophis, you are able to add that off the Swamp. I'm not playing it, I just don't think it's necessary personally, but if you wanted to, you can here. Then we are able to use the Divine Serpent to reset these two from the graveyard. And that's pretty much it. That is going to be your end board here. Obviously, depending on the rest of your hand, this can change. If you open up, Man of the Mark, Anubis, the Last Judge, a lot of these things vary. You didn't use Ancient Fairy Special Summon from hand effect, so if you have another monster in hand, you're able to special it and turn that and this into like an IP Masquerade if you wanted to. So you have a little bit more options and leeway, depending on what you have in your hand also. But just on the bare minimum, if you have a discard and the Fenrir, this is what you can end on, which I think is pretty cool. You have the Rabbit pop, the Apophis pop, the 3 extra pops off of the Statue of Anguish pattern, because you're going to summon out this, and if something leaves the field, you were able to get the extra copy of the Swamp, so you get two pseudo negates on cards if you want to, just depending on how you order this, and the pops, which I think is pretty good. I would like to have an IP at the end of this, only because it clears more room, but again, that's completely up to you. But you get so many pops and removal anyway that it's perfectly fine. So yeah, that is going to be it for the combo. That is the 1-card combo with Fenrir. I think that's something that's worth noting and not a lot of people talking about. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below of how this combo is. Are you going to be willing to try it out? And yeah, so overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.